coming at you as always every Sunday evening for our top 5, always plus some. There's just so many names sometimes. Week in review, 87% hit rate. We nailed the top with the swing puts for SPY. Got up to 130% on some of them. Absolutely nailed Tesla twice. Nailed SPX just over and over and over. It was a great week for everybody. Some people were doubling, tripling their account and sometimes when they messaged me. So it's just a great week. Looking forward to continue this week. It was so much fun this past week. I mean, we nailed the puts, we nailed the calls, we got some reversals, and I think everybody made a lot of money this week, and I was really happy that all our members, our full-time members and our SMS scalping members, really did. I got a lot of great feedback, so I was really happy about that and happy we're able to help people. So alphatraders.com, you guys see it here. Just type in this little area here, put your email, and then you can sign up literally. You just put your random.com, and then you just click this bad boy, and then here, and you're ready to go. That's our full-time service. Our SMS scalping service is on our Twitter. You can see it here in the video. At Alpha Traders Inc. on Twitter. Just click that link. Boom, you're in. So let's get to it. Oh, and please don't forget. Please like. Please sub. We're working on our educational series right now. I'm a perfectionist, so it takes me a while to just put stuff out. I'm not going to put stuff out just to put stuff out. So monster week, crazy week here. If you weren't prepared for sell in May and go away, you obviously were not. Historically, if we can pull up the seasonality here, let's go back here, pull this stuff up. There we go. Let's take May. So as you can see, these are just the days of the week in May for SPY that are, median changes and whatnot. But see, Thursday, Fridays are winning, this is losing. You can kind of take a little, I'm sorry, I want to do weekly here. Boom, that's better. We'll go since January of 2015. You guys will see that since January of the new year of 2015, the 20th week in SPY SPX, I just use SPY because it's easy. This is the win rate on it. That's it, 14%. 14%. So you kind of you can take some of this information. TrendSpider is just awesome. I'll put the link in the video here for you if you guys are interested. But just absolute great information. If you see this, as we go into the 20th week, you go, oh my God. And then look, you can look ahead to the 26th week. So this was last week, this is this week. So in 4.5, 5 weeks, whatever that is, your odds are pretty good that this is going to be a down week. But then you look at this week, historically, one of the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of the year is the 21st. Now, is the 21st week. So you're seeing this week as like, man, this should be a really positive week. We'll see, futures are down, but at least you have the data to say, hey, I can make educated decisions on this. So as we move into SPY here, we'll go on the daily. Super easy. We nailed this here. Probably sold it. We sold it right here on the anchored VWAP on the daily. We got about 1.5 points. I think we ended up at 90%. They ended up at 200%. You kind of want to lock in your money because this was a big level. But overall, this pushed to 417.49. As you can see here, it didn't quite gap fill. So I'm looking for that to fill this week. We actually bought some calls, didn't buy a ton, didn't want to oversize. But with it being such historically green week and historically Fridays in this uptrend, you buy the last 10 minutes. Usually you get a gap up on Monday. I don't know if we're going to get that today, but you always play the percentages on this. Now, I understood that we went into the 4-hour supply. I even told our members that. I'm like, we're buying into the 4-hour supply, as you can see right here at 417.69-ish, and then also a slight above that 418.23. We're kind of buying into the 4-hour supply, which, I mean, it is what it is, but with a good gap up, you just eat right through that. So we played the gap up, but those will probably end up at zero. But again, we had such a big week that, as long as you didn't oversize, which I've been stressing to everybody and anybody watching this, please don't oversize in options. You're going to get burned. You're going to get burned. I can't tell how many people have lost money because they size up, and next thing you know, the thing turns on you. So you got to play with a normal size, something that's good to your account. If you have a $2,000 account, you don't go buy Tesla calls for $15. Idiotic. Dumb. Don't do dumb stuff. If you have a $50,000 one, you don't spend $40,000 on Tesla weekly calls. You're an idiot. Don't do those things. I preach to you. Anyways, off my soapbox. Super easy moving forward tomorrow. 417.49. Get through that. I expect this 417.88, 418. I expect that to hold. I expect we're actually going to pull back to this area, this 413.19. I think people are like, oh, here we go again. And then we'll see at this area here because that's the trend line. And if it breaks the trend line, then we're going to have some more. We're going to drop again. We may even get down here on SPY to 394. I'm not trying to fudge you guys, but there is a gap here at 400. So even if they gap fill and run it up, we'll be prepared and we'll see how the action goes overnight. Qs, great. Qs have been super choppy if you look at them from a daily standpoint. I mean, this is just chop. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a long-term trader, you really haven't had a ton of moves. We swung Qs puts from the high here at about 3. I think we bought them here maybe 340-ish, and we ran them all the way down. I think they got up to 150, 200%, whatever it was. Cut them all for, I think we averaged 140% on those. They were for May 21st. So bounced off here. I mean, this was kind of the low, and the Qs was 316. Buyers stepped in at the very last volume shelf here. I thought it may get to the 200-day, but that's a really far way down for such a strong, from a group that benefits from zero rates and, Fed debt buying. It's hard for it to get that far down. And, we're still higher lows moving out of this. We're still higher highs overall in the trend. So this tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if this fell out of the megaphone trend again. It's really having trouble in here getting up and over. So we'll see how it works out. But, I would expect this, to at least get to 322 tomorrow. If futures, it just depends on futures and where they go, but this is your range, 327, 322. If it breaks 322, you got room to 320. I wouldn't short or long the Qs themselves. I would wait, and see really how it shakes out. Small caps, IWM, again, just a lot of chop. They kind of don't know where they want to go. This isn't really the season for small caps right now. Had a good bounce with the market off the 100-day, 100 daily, and everything's kind of curling up. Everything's kind of looking good. We'll see if the IWMs hold. Again, this range is actually pretty broad. So as of right now, it's opening up right at the 8-day. If it loses the 8-day, you can probably short at the 216. Get yourself a nice little lotto. Get 30-40%, and go from there. Tesla, all this Elon stuff, and tech bros are getting all fancy in their pants and stuff like that. I actually think all this stuff is super good for Tesla. Get off the Bitcoin scale and, kind of get back to what they're doing. They won't be attached to it because obviously it sounds like they sold all the rest of it, but the daily 200 is really playing a good role here. Really fell hard. 560 became support again. As you can see, the 560 was support here. It even dipped a little lower before. So 560 is your floor right now. I think if it drops below 560, you get 500. But I don't really expect it to. I think tomorrow it has another day where it bounces off this 200, or they might run it up because, they like doing the opposite of what the sentiment is. They might run this thing back up to, 614, 627, somewhere in this area. I would at least think 606. So Tesla's actually looking pretty good. If we look on the 65-minute, I wanted to pull that up. You can kind of see this. It's a pretty simple level. You got the cloud resistance here, cloud supply. I call it cloud supply, even though it's technically not supply because it's not a real number. But it gives you an idea of where it's at. So, over 592.87, you can probably get a good trade at least to 608. Get yourself a nice scalp. If you buy the 610s, they're probably 18 on Monday morning. Maybe get to 22, maybe 21. If it pops, first thing on Monday. Otherwise, I would just kind of wait. I do think this moves, though. It could get, if they really want to run this thing, you could see 671 very easy. Twilio. I just like it for a bounce. I think that's really what my thing with it is. It's like, it's sitting right on the volume shelf here, as you can see. It's just sitting and hanging. It's based down. It got sold off into earnings. So I do think this 275 is a good number. I think 299 is a good number. My the goal would be 317 this week. So it could be a nice bounce play. This is a nice, 310s. You're probably looking at, they're probably $9, $10 at open on Monday. So if you can get to 317, you buy the 315s and you can get the 317. Hopefully in a day or two, you make 20-30%. It's a solid little trade, Again, it just depends on the momentum and where you buy it on the break. But for me, all you got to do really is break 300 here, and I think for me it's a pretty easy 310. So you could go to 310s if you want to spend the extra premium and you get a little more money, or get the 305s and see if it gets to 317. See, they got earnings Tuesday before open. They've already sold off pretty heavy. Usually how these things work, you're going to get a double bottom tomorrow. So I'll be actually looking for this thing. I hope it comes down to 207. I hope it has a sell-off into it. But they might pump it up. I have to see where the premiums are, and I have to read it tomorrow. We'll see what they want to do. Right now it's kind of in no man's land. But close at 216. If futures are down, this will go down with it, probably to 210. If it hits 207 and it holds, to me, I would buy that into earnings tomorrow. That's just me. Play it small. You don't want to go crazy because I think C's earnings are going to be better than the street expected. Otherwise, if they're not, then Tuesday you could see it hit the 200-day, but I don't think it gets under that just because the growth on it and such a good company. This is a monster buy. I don't think it gets there. It'll get to 200, but that 200 is a monster buy in my opinion. FUTU. I'm so mad at myself. I called this out in chat. I called this out and said, okay, FUTU, I'm looking at it at 100, and I didn't take it, obviously. Missed a huge move. The calls would have been 100 and some odd percent. Easily, maybe 150. So now playing with the 8-day, you got the supply overhead. You have this big area of 141. You have earnings coming up on the 19th. So that's Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday before open. I'll double check that. So I think it kind of meanders here. If they want to run it up, they can, but if the market's bad, I think it comes back to 100. I like it at 100 a lot. American Airlines, pretty easy. You can pick any of the jets that you really want. I like American Airlines because it looks like they have, a better area to move up. You can get the 22 to 23, and then ultimately, you can get 24 and, possibly 26. If you really want to look at it, there's a gap here up to 27. I'm not going to play options on this. I would rather play the stock itself. It's going to be a lot easier just to buy. You can buy 1,000 shares of this and, make a couple grand and you're good to go. Last but not least, Carnival. I actually like calls on this. The 90, probably 90 to 120 days out, somewhere in there. You can go 3 to 4 months out. I'm actually looking at the 30s myself. I think it does get 30. If it wants to get over the top of that, you're looking at, you can see the big drawdown here, but you have this big area here that it could get to. So you're looking at about 33, somewhere in there. That's, obviously off the big drop. And that'd be a nice little play. You buy the 30s or the 29s or the 28s. They're going to be pretty cheap. Heck, I might even buy the 28s for $2 and $2.50 and for, August OPEX. We'll see. And that's really all I had for you this week. I wanted to make sure, I wanted to keep it concise. I know, we can get long-winded, but I want to make sure you guys know that, these plays, we usually hit right on the button on these. I'm usually at about 80% right now on these, and I play them myself. So alphatraders.com, check us out at Alpha Traders Inc. Please don't be a stranger. Like, comment, favorite us, get our, put our stuff on YouTube. So you guys have good luck this week. Please let me know if you guys need anything. We're always here to help, and we will see you next time.